screen. I want to see what's going on.
You worry about that. Welcome back. If you just caught that, I think we had some technical difficulties for the 10th time in 4 episodes. But we're back, Blended TV, episode 4. And tonight I'm joined with Andrew Gordon, who originally was drafted by the Washington Capitals back in 2004.
Yep.
You guys didn't catch that before. Also played for the Ducks and also has played for the Vancouver Canucks. Currently, you're back in Sweden.
Yep.
So you're playing in the SHL?
I am, yeah. The Swedish Hockey League. It's considered the elite league. Every country has its own sort of hierarchy within the country. But I'm going back for my second year over there, and really enjoyed it. So the European lifestyle is wonderful, but it sucks because I'm leaving on Saturday, so my summer's already over. Sadly.
Short off season.
Yeah,
or you're a little
short off
early.
season.
Get home.
Came home early, but no one wants to be here in March, April anyway. So
by yourself.
I missed the good seasons.
Yeah, and we've also got Shawn O'Donnell. He has played for the Mooseheads, also played for St. Mary's, and is now in the American Hockey League playing for Hartford.
Yeah.
Your off season's a little bit better than Andrew's.
Yeah, we got a little bit better of a schedule here. Enjoy the nice weather here for the rest of the, July, August here. So, yeah, definitely take it.
When do you head back?
Sometime in September.
Sometime in September? That's up for debate.
That's still unknown, yeah.
Nice.
Training camps vary from week to week depending on which league you're in. So
Totally.
yeah.
So a few things that I think that our audience is going to want to tune into and hear a little bit about. But I think the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, at what point in time did you realize that hockey was like your dream? I mean, we've got a lot of younger hockey players that come in here to Blended to train. And that will be tuning into this, but at what age was it where you were like, I'm going to dedicate 100% towards playing hockey?
Well, for me, I mean, it was sort of a natural progression thing. You just played it as a kid because you loved it. And, I mean, that's still the case today. If I didn't enjoy it as much as I do, I might not come to the gym every day and things like that. But for the most part, it was just a stepping process where you just wanted to play at your next level. You wanted to have a better season in life. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and thought, like, I have to commit my life to this. It was just something that came naturally because I enjoyed it so much. So, I mean, I wanted to be a hockey player from the day I realized it could be a job. I didn't realize that till I was probably 12 years old and people got paid to do this. So, I mean, I guess you could pinpoint that as my moment once I realized that you could do this for a living. That sounds like the best job ever, and it is.
Yeah, kind of going with what Gordo said there. It goes back as long as you can remember. Kind of in school there, when it's what do you want to do when you grow up, it was always, want to be a hockey player. So, same sort of thing, just, as long as I can remember, it was always kind of the plan.
Well, we all played like a ton of different sports and stuff growing up, but I don't think until I was probably 16 through high school, I was playing lacrosse in the off season and things like that. So up until I was drafted into the NHL, I was playing other sports, and it was never about just committing 100% of your life to this. It was a big part of it, but we all played other sports. We all enjoyed the off seasons and things, doing other things as well.
So that's a lot less common nowadays. The age of 10, 12 are dedicating 100% of their effort towards a single sport.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back towards the way that you guys approached it, 10, 15 years ago, do you really think that kids should be like committing themselves to that level and that extent, that young of an age?
Yeah, personally, I'm not a big fan of the, kids that stay on the ice, all year, 12 months a year, never really take a break from it. It was like, we talking about this the other day. It was like, it was great when the summertime rolled around. You get a chance to, do some other sports, or, you're in school and you're doing all the other sports, and, that's fun. And, I think that actually makes you a better hockey player at the end of the day, if that's what you want to do, is, bouncing around from different sports and enjoying it. Makes you.
I think in this area, like we were sort of ruined when guys like Sidney and Nate McKinnon came up and were unbelievable, some generational type players. Because now every parent wants their kid to be the next Sidney Crosby, and it's not going to happen. Playing your kid around year-round in hockey isn't going to make him a better player. So it's sort of a misconception going on, I think, in this area right now, is it just more hockey is better. The more you play, the better you get. Where as a kid, you got to grow, and you got to, as you're growing, your body sort of reacts differently. And I think becoming a better athlete and playing the other sports will benefit you more in the long term. You won't burn out. You won't be tired of it. I skated for the first time last week since late March.
That was my next question. So, like, you guys are in the middle of your off season now. How often are you on the ice?
2 or 3 times a week, but that's after taking a good month or 2 off just to kind of let the body reset and kind of get the kinks out from a long season.
So what about off ice training? I mean, right now you guys are training 6 days a week, but I mean, what about when you guys were playing Pee Wee? At that point in time, were you doing any off ice training?
Well, sort of. It went
Pee Wee,
it went sort of in cycles. I think.
Cycle through.
I remember I started quite young, but it was sort of the phase where everyone was just getting into the Swiss ball stuff. So you could do a lot of body weight stuff on these Swiss balls. So that was sort of the thing. We had a guy come in and teach us a little bit about that. So we were doing our push-ups and our sit-ups and we were standing on the balls and doing stuff like that. Where, again, it was just general strength type things. But when you're young, your body is still growing, still reacting. So it was a good way to keep fit and learn about committing to off-ice training without necessarily being in the squat rack and blowing the discs out of your back. So I think my group started young, but we were doing very minor stuff just a couple times a week to learn more about controlling your body and how to build muscle at all, as opposed to really grinding at age 12 in the gym.
So did you have like a coach or a trainer that guided you through that time at the gym?
Yeah, we had a guy would come in probably early in the season and give us a little bit of a program, like he's do this twice a week, just a push-up series, a sit-up series, and so on, squats on the ball. So we would instruct you how to do it, and then would sort of be on your own. But after that, the same group that sort of came in and taught us about that became my trainer when I was a little bit more committed and a little bit more physically ready to have weightlifting and things in the off season become a big focus.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, kind of with Andrew was saying, it was basic, like push-ups, sit-ups. Honestly, it'd be like shooting pucks was like part of the workout, like going for like long runs or like different kinds of runs and that. But it was not like kind of what we see now, where kids, it's a lot more hardcore.
So if you could go back and you know what you know now, would you have changed the way that you trained through Bantam, midget?
Probably that's the thing. I'd say I wouldn't change anything, but just for the knowledge is different now. I mean, I don't know how much more intense it would have been, because like you said, like back then it's more about it's having fun and enjoying ourselves, and I can definitely say I did that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think we all work as hard as we do now because we love to do that as well. It's like we weren't forced to go to the gym. Our parents weren't forcing us to go to hockey schools and stuff back then, and now as a result we learned how to work and how to enjoy it and how important it is. So I think for me, I wouldn't change much at all. I think just starting out early and learning how to work out and how to control your body is a big thing. Mm-hmm. But if you're playing the other sports and you're in good shape and you can get around the ice, you don't need to be in the gym at age 12 bulking up. Doesn't make much sense to me.
I feel like that's what it used to be like.
Yeah.
I played so short, but our whole objective.
Sorry to hear that.
I know, but like our whole objective back then was to just put on mass.
Yeah.
Whereas now, training's changed in the sense that it's no longer about just getting bigger during the off season. It's quite the opposite. Now, the size is no longer really as much of a factor, I find, with kids in Pee Wee, Bantam, midget, and they're spending more time on strength and conditioning in the essence of trying to figure out how to generate hip power, and more things that are more related to the sport.
Right. And that's the way it should be. We joke about mobility being the new size. is the term I throw around. But I think that's it. Our group, a lot of the things we focus on is more not just lift as heavy as you possibly can every day of the week, but it's a lot about injury prevention, career longevity. That's the stuff that's important to me now. I don't need 10 more pounds more than I need 3 more years in the game. Yeah. And so it's using what you've got. Not everyone's going to build muscle mass the same way. Not everyone is going to react the same way through the same workouts. So finding what works for you, what makes you a better player, is a lot more important than finding what was going to get 10 more pounds onto the scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about nutrition? So nutrition's become a huge part of, training in general. But what, I mean, I can think back to my pre-hockey game routine of spaghetti.
Oh yeah.
Still mine. I'm in there.
Still yours?
Yeah.
So
spaghetti
what
a
does
lot.
that look like now in comparison to, again, back when you were playing Bantam and Midget? Like,
Yeah,
has it changed?
I mean, not so much for like pre-game meals and that. Like I used to be chunky soup, like religiously, and then now it's kind of like Gordo. You want to get the pasta and the carbs, the chicken, kind of thing like that. But away from that, I think just a lot more knowledge has gone into it than when we were younger. We're on a pretty, as far as like supplements and diet goes, we're pretty. I'm saying like. It's pretty detailed, and like so we got a pretty good focus for that. But yeah, as far as back then goes, there's some change, but it's not as big a deal then.
Yeah. You find your comfort foods, I find. Like what we eat on game day itself or even the night before a game is a lot of just personal preference, what makes me feel good. So you can read all the books you want and do all the studies you want on what the food is doing for your body, but if you're eating something that's going to leave you hungry, if you're eating something that doesn't just mentally get you to where you need to be, then it's all the health information in the world isn't going to do your body the same thing as knowing you're in the good spot to play that game. So I think you just find your comfort foods for game day, but I think all of us, again, I'm going to repeat myself 100 times, but everyone's body is different. So the diet in the summer and the diet in my days off that works for me might not work the same for him.
Well, I mean, that's now scientific information in the sense that you guys have both gone through Athletigen's genetic profiling.
Yeah.
And, I mean, does it differ between the two of you?
Or a bit, actually. Yeah,
we
more than you think.
Week. We sat down last week and broke down our genetic profiles there, and my body reacts a lot differently to dietary changes than his does.
He's a lot more gifted, one might say. So,
dietarily speaking.
Yes, in the dietary terms, yes.
But no, like it's information that is fun to play with now, looking forward. Whereas knowing that my body breaks down carbohydrate differently than saturated fats and unsaturated, it tells you a lot of the finer details that you would never know if you didn't have this information, through Athletigen. So it's something that we just learned last week, and knowing that my diet is only going to change a little bit, I guess, but I can sort of fine tune it to give myself a little bit more energy and valuable information.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
anything you can grab as information
right?
is going to give you that extra leading edge. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. We're going to come right back, guys. We're going to drop to commercial to today's tip of the week. Hey guys, we're on set here getting ready for Blended TV. Tonight's tip of the week is going to be on hand care. Hand care is extremely important in CrossFit. If you've got too big of calluses when you're doing pull-ups, muscle-ups, toes to bar, anything involving that barbell, it's going to really do some damage on the hand. So some of the tools that I recommend you guys to pick up, you can pick these up at any pharmacy, is going to be the following. So you've got a callus shaver here. My fancy version of sandpaper, it's just glass. And then you've got the cheese grater as well. All of these can be picked up, like I said, at a pharmacy, including some sort of nice hand lotion. So how you use this stuff is as follows. You start off with the callus shaver. As you can see here, coming right into that callus, you're gonna press on it, and it just shaves the top layer of that callus right off. From there, you're gonna take that cheese grater to get at any of the edges and just kind of give it a little run through, and then take the smoother sandpaper version of this and smooth it off, and then finish it off with some lotion. This will help keep those calluses down to a minimum, and it'll help prevent you from ripping during a WOD. That's your tip of the week. We'll talk to you next week. And now we're back. So getting back into it, guys, one of the things I want to touch on is supplements too. I think I get asked more from 14, 15, 16-year-old boys about what supplements that they should be taking than anyone else in this gym. So what do you guys currently take for supplements?
Fish oil, vitamin D, what else is in there? Protein, obviously. Creatine right now, that's comes and goes though. Glutamine, BCAAs. What am I missing here? We got a pretty detailed supplement plan.
Veggie greens.
Phytoberry.
Is it
Sort of,
changed
what am I
during the season?
That's about it.
During the season, yeah, a little bit. Like, I don't keep up with creatine like I do in the summer. Same thing. Like, it's a little bit. I think it might be a little bit more intense in the summer. Just it's honestly like the workload is more in the summer.
For me, my diet changed a little bit in the winter, where I'm eating so much food all winter long that I don't necessarily need the specific fine tuning of supplements. So in the summer, when you're trying to really sort of get lean, keep your energy up, build at the same time as shrink, it's sort of difficult. So with that's what I use supplements for a lot, is trying to find the fine tuning balance. But the winter, when you're playing, in the past I've played 100 games in a season. You're practicing 6 days a week. It's just about surviving and putting enough food into you to keep your energy up.
Yeah.
So I don't use as many supplements. I'm just, like I say, stuffing my face 5-6 times a day all winter long. But the biggest one that I like is I keep up with in the winter is the veggie greens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's one that, if you're taking one scoop of that, you're getting an additional 5-7 servings of veggies, and like the good ones, the ones that you don't want to be eating, the spirulinas
sea
and
vegetables
the
and-
sea fruit, sea veggies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I like to take that one just to sort of boost my, fruits and vegetable intake every day. And it's like I say, it's it's tougher to eat 10 pounds of salad in the winter, and I need 10 pounds of food. It's not
Right.
going to come from lettuce. So it's nice to have that supplement to know I'm getting those fruits and veggies, but I don't have to spend the 3 hours a day trying to chomp down kale.
Just
It
boring.
does take a while.
it's,
work.
it's like an exercise. When
That's
you
what he
think about
said.
eating food,
It's
it
hard
doesn't
work. Just another form.
I think a lot of the younger hockey players that will be watching this over the next couple days would really be interested in knowing what that daily routine looks like. So on a game day, when do you wake up? So say the game's 7 p.m. at night. What's the day look like? We'll start with you, Sean. So you wake up.
Roll up bed around
What time?
8:15, anywheres. Go to the rink, have breakfast at the rink, pre-game skate, go from pre-game skate to, maybe stretch out, hang out at the rink for a bit more, have lunch, have a nap for an hour or two. Yeah, same thing, wake up, head back to the rink, get warmed up, ready to go.
I picked the wrong career.
yeah.
Please, Andrew, tell me yours.
Eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep. No, I'm similar. I wake up, go to the rink. We're usually on the ice before, in the morning, so we're on the ice about 9:30 or 10. After that, stretch out, have lunch, and I'm sleeping probably from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 every day. I sleep 2 hours every single game day. It's almost, my body just knows when it's game day.
It's nice.
I'm tired enough to
You're
get
excited for it.
Oh yeah, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
As soon as you wake up, the body knows it's going back to bed in about 3.5 hours.
Gets you out of bed.
So-
What about habits with it? Do you guys have or not habits, it's the wrong word, but
Superstitions?
superstitions that you guys follow? There's something that you must absolutely do on game day. Nap.
I find
Sounds like it's nap.
if you have a good
Nap,
game,
yeah.
good game the game before, I might try and replicate a few things, but yeah.
I try to avoid that stuff, because then you get caught up in it. It's did I put my right elbow pad on first last game, or it's let's just get that out of my mind. That's the last thing I want to think about is a superstition.
It can be bad, but it can be good if you're hitting them too, right?
if you're rolling hot, then it's go with it.
The good with the bad.
Yeah. Well, no, a couple hours of sleep, get to the rink a couple hours early, so I'm usually at the rink at about 4:45 or 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, and get my routine from there on. That's when the routine really kicks in, is once you get to the rink. It's just, robots by then. I've played 700 pro games, and God knows how many before that, so by now my body knows minute to minute what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So on that note, what is your of all of those hockey games, all of the moments that you've spent and dedicated your life towards hockey, is there one specific moment, Andrew, that sticks out as being the highlight of your career thus far?
One moment.
What about your first NHL goal?
Yeah, that's a big one. I think the first game was the best moment, where I was in New York. I was at Madison Square Garden. I got called up and I flew in, and so I was taking morning skate, and I didn't know if I was going to play or not yet. So I just took the morning skate, came to the dressing room, taking my gear off, and when coach came in and tapped me and said hey, go get a good meal in and you're in tonight. That's when I felt this is my moment. This is when it all became real. Guys get called up and get scratched and don't get to play all the time, so just being there wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I was really involved until the coach told me, like, you're in. And then instantly got on the phone, called everybody I could, like, can anyone get to New York in the next, like, 3 hours? But no, that was a special moment, knowing, like, today's my day. Like, now's my moment. And it was a new sense of focus where I felt like, you know, I've worked at that point for 21 and a half years for this moment. And now it was right there in front of me, so it was a special one.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, kind of going with Gordo. I ended up getting an exhibition game at the Rangers training camp 2 years back, and it was same sort of feeling. It was cool to kind of be in that atmosphere and kind of just enjoy that moment. Kind of like Gordo said, it was a little taste. It wasn't a regular season game or anything like that, but it was definitely still a cool moment.
So if you had one tip, Andrew, for a young hockey player growing up in Halifax right now, what would it be?
Harder.
Work harder. No, go to the net. I've made a healthy living standing in front of the net. The puck will always come to you. You can go around the outside and chase it and try to, look for holes and this and that. But at the end of the day, every puck in the offensive zone is trying to get to the net. So if you're the guy who's always around there, you'll chip in a bunch of ugly ones. And if you score 20 goals from 1 foot within the crease, you still got 20 goals. So I've, like I say, I like to hang around the crease and stand in front and take a little bit of abuse in there to score some ugly goals, because not everybody's willing to do that. And so you'll find a valuable place on every team by being a net front guy, being a guy who is willing to muck it up for a little bit of an ugly goal.
For me, it's kind of, I just have to say, make sure you really enjoy it. Like, this is one of those things where now that I'm doing it as a job, it definitely doesn't feel like I have a real job. It's not it's not work coming into blended.
Have a real job.
Well, like, you know what I mean? It's not work coming into blended or going to the rink every day. It's definitely, it's really enjoyable. And, kind of like through the times where you have to work hard and you have to, grind it out, it's just, it's all enjoyable. So, it makes it easy and all and fun.
Nice. So I got a little game for you guys to finish off tonight's episode. So we're going to play, I'm going to call it Rapid Fire. And you can pass the question. Actually, no, you can't. You can't pass one of these questions. We're going to ask you a couple of questions, and you just got to kind of let us, PG, kids are watching, but let us know what the first thing that comes to your mind is. So, Andrew, we'll start with you. Who's your favorite NHL hockey player right now?
Sidney Crosby.
Sean, who's your favorite team in the NHL?
The New York Rangers. It's an inside joke.
Andrew, if you could play a pro sport other than hockey, what would it be?
Lacrosse.
Sean, who's your all-time favorite hockey player?
Have to go Logan Shaw. NHLer.
Andrew, who's
Shozy. That's Shozy for the camera. Call him Shozy.
Andrew, who's better with the ladies, you or Sean?
Sean.
Sean, who's your favorite Backstreet Boy?
The guy who's always doing the solos there. AJ, maybe? Yeah.
And Andrew, what's your favorite gym in the HRM?
Blended Athletics.
I love it. Thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Tune in next week, guys. Wednesday nights, 9:15. We'll have a new guest on. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week.